losing the first two games of this three-game series in Houston, Bob Tewksbury will try to put it all back together. He's on the mound today and trying to become the Major League's first six-game winner. He's put together some terrific numbers, and today he'll try to quiet these hot Astro bats. The Cardinals put their best on the mound. The Cardinals and Astros come your way next.
Good evening, everyone. A lovely night at the ballpark. We're going to have a play.
Langford is taking the catch and drops the ball.
Jeffrey saved the play. Struck him out. Pitch to Gilkey.
Cardinal Baseball is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch Companies Incorporated, including Busch Gardens Theme Parks, SeaWorld Parks, the St. Louis Cardinals, Campbell Taggart Baked Goods, Eagle Snacks, and the fine beers of Anheuser-Busch. The Cardinals have their stopper on the mound as they try to put away the brooms and avoid the sweep in Houston. The Cardinals and Astros coming up. Anthem here at the Astrodome. We get ready for the finale of this three-game weekend series. And Al Raboski, the Cardinals couldn't have a better pitching going today than Bob Tewksbury, trying to become the Major League's first six-game winner.
Well, he's just done it all this year. He's really gone out there. He's won his first 5 starts, back-to-back complete games, his last 2 starts, and once again very stingy in the walk department. And he's 4-1 and a very good ERA career-wise against the Astros. But you're right. We do need a well-pitched game after the Saturday night massacres.
Yeah, back-to-back bad Saturdays with the Cardinals and the Astros. The Astros have taken the field, so we'll sneak a peek at Joe Torre's lineup. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It's just plain smart. The Cardinals will lead off with Ray Langford in center. Luis Alicea will bat in the number 2 spot. Ozzie with the day off. Greg Jeffrey sits third. Todd Zeile, the cleanup man. He's had another good series. Bernard Gilkey is in left. John Mabry makes the start in right. Terry McGriff again behind the plate. Jose Oquendo is the shortstop batting 8th. Bob Tewksbury pitching and batting 9th. The defense for the Astros. Gonzalez in left. Finley in center. Mouton in right. With Donalds at third. Caminiti gets the day off. Cedeno at short. Biggio at second. Sid Bream at first. No Jeff Bagwell. That didn't upset Bob Tewksbury too much. Tony Eusebio behind the plate. And the young right-hander Brian Williams, a record of 0-1 on the mound today for Houston.
Well, this is his 6th appearance. He is making his 3rd start. And you can see those 11 base on balls in 15 innings. That's all you have to know about Brian Williams. He has the 4 basic pitches. He has a good arm. It's only a question, can he throw strikes?
A look at Terry Collins. His Astros trying to sweep the Cardinals. Houston lost 2 out of 3 in St. Louis, and at best, the Cardinals will lose 2 out of 3 here in Houston. But Joe Torre knows that a little south of here, southeast of here in Miami, the Marlins are all over the Cincinnati Reds. So the winner of this game likely will pick up a game on first place Cincinnati. And Al, you remarked to me that the Reds, although their record is impressive, it's been a lot of home victories, and on the road they've struggled.
Yes, and if they go on to lose this game, which they mentioned trailing 9-0 at this point to Miami, they will have a record of 5 wins and 6 losses on the road. So they may not be as good as that record indicates.
Langford tries to plug the gap on the first pitch. Well hit to left and gone. Just like that, 1-0 St. Louis. Langford touches them all for the 6th time this season. Nice way to start.
Joe, that is his 6th home run. There you see some of the Cardinal fans from Cardinal Travel, but it's also the 3rd time he has led off a game with a home run. That is why Joe Torre was intrigued by putting Ray Langford, the combination of speed and power, in the leadoff spot, because he can give you that instant 1-0 lead. One pitch, one run.
Say Ray was ready.
He was ready, and the dome, where it used to be very difficult to hit the ball of the ballpark, is like any other park now, surrendering its share of home runs.
Just like opening night in Cincinnati. Here it happens on the first pitch. 2 pitches later, base hit to right by Alicea. I'm intrigued in watching Luis Alicea, Al, batting that number 2 spot. He figures to get better pitches, and it'll be nice for Luis to get some good pitches and then get out of that slump. He comes into this game hitting less than 190.
Well, you know, it's something interesting. I just was looking at the numbers. Bob Tewksbury, you know, he's the benefactor of the early lead. He likes to see some offense. But Luis had a career April average of 180. He hit 189 in April of '94. And so his start, it shouldn't have been too alarming to him. Now we turn the page. He's in May, and he's batting 1,000.
He's aboard. Nobody out for Greg Jeffries, who has a hitting streak alive. He had 1 knock last night, 2 out of 9 in this series. Off-speed pitch inside, and the count 2-0. So the Cardinals off to a great start here today in Houston. Does it help out an offense and maybe give them an extra boost of confidence when they know when they take the field they have Tewksbury pitching for them?
I was just thinking the same thing, Joe. It really does, because they know if they go out and get a lead, they're going to have the pitcher on the mound to hold it. And also get you an opportunity just to relax as hitters, because you know that you don't have to go out and outslug the opposition. So
right.
That combination where you can just relax really does usually benefits the hitters.
Greg Jeffries has the longest current hitting streak in the big leagues at 14 games. And he's ahead of the count here, 2-1.
And Stan Javier, Julio's son, had the longest in the big leagues for the year. He had his ended April 26th at 17 games.
2-1 pitch. Alicea running, and that's fair into the corner and might score Luis. He digs for third. They'll bring him around. Jeffries coasts into second with an RBI double, and it's already 2-0 St. Louis. 15-game hitting streak for Greg Jeffries. Cardinals started the runaround, and it turned into a run.
Hey, you want to be aggressive. That's the way to get people going. And here, look at this. Look at how far off the line Donald's the third baseman is. That ball slicing in there. It goes down into the bullpen area. And the quick 2-0 lead with not a man out yet. Just a very controlled swing by Greg. Always has his hands in good hitting position. 15-game hitting streak now. Look at that, 426 during that time. And he's back over 400 batting left-handed. Now you see, here's where Tewksbury's going, okay, guys, I'm a good pitcher. I don't need any more.
Yeah, right. Slow it down, guys. I don't need any more help. Sure. Good start for Joe Torre and his crew here today. A little better than the first 2 days. Zeal digs in. Jeffries at second and nobody out.
Well, that was the shame of things of last night's game with Harnish, who had a terrible career record against the Cardinals, never beaten them. ERA, you know, over 7 or over 8 against the Cardinals and over 7 for the year. And with Williams today, you say here, you have the better matchup both days going in.
The Cardinals trying to pull out the 1 victory before the team heads on to Colorado. Off day tomorrow. And then games on Tuesday and Wednesday against the Rockies. 1-2 now on Zeal. Todd Zeal now in the mode, Al, where he's looking ahead and trying to find the press notes to see what pitchers will be pitching for the opposition down the road. He's anxious to hit. He's very confident right now, and he ought to be, the way he's hit against Houston.
And if you go back and look at the last year, look at his power numbers.
But he strikes out here for the first out, and he leaves Jeffries at second. That's the first out of the inning. So Williams gets a much-needed strikeout, and now we'll deal with Bernard Gilkey.
Well, there's nothing wrong with Brian Williams. Sometimes in his effort to throw strikes, he has to guide the ball a little bit and becomes a little more hittable.
Ball on to Gilkey, hitting an even 300. 9 RBIs, and that home run came in San Francisco. He narrowly missed going deep last night, but he pulled one foul. Two and 0 on deck. John Mabry, the rookie. So Gilkey ought to get something to hammer right here.
And former President George Bush is behind home plate in the owner's box, so maybe we can. There he is, sitting next to the Astros owner.
2-0 to Gilkey, to third for Donald. Nice play. 2 out. So Gilkey's been struggling a little bit lately, and he taps to third for the second out of the inning. And then has to make Drayton McClain very happy as he talks it over with George Bush.
Right fielder, number 47,
John Mabry digs in. John hitting 200. Had a hit last night. Both of his big league hits have come against the Astros. Runner at second, 2 out. Good breaking ball. Had Mabry flinching. Strike one. Leadoff home run followed by a hit by Alicea. An RBI double by Jeffries. Zeal and Gilkey made outs, and Mabry into right center field will make it 3-0. John Mabry with a 2-out RBI hit to right. Plates Jeffries, and the Cardinals lead by 3.
Got to come up with those big 2-out hits. You pick up Zeal and Gilkey, and the rookie comes through. Got a hit last night, and here he picks up his second RBI of the season. 3 runs crossed. He adjusted well. The ball right in the middle of the plate, and he plugs the gap out there into right center.
That'll bring in Terry McGriff, the number 7 hitter. Bob Tewksbury hoping to get into the on-deck circle. If you're the starting pitcher and you at least get into the on-deck circle, you're off to a good start in the first inning.
Or you bat 3 times in the first inning. You know you got a few runs to work with.
It's already 3-0. McGriff up with 1 on, 2 out. Well, I like that Mabry. I just enjoy watching him hit, not only in a game but during batting practice. He's got a sweet stroke.
Speaking of batting practice, Mark Whitten did that today. And he will be going on to Louisville this afternoon. Go down to Louisville on their injury rehab. Mark said he would let them know at about 10 to 20 at bats when he feels that he is ready to come back up.
He looked ready in batting practice. He was crushing the ball. It made you remember how much the Cardinals do miss him. Even though he started out struggling, I think if nothing else, you just miss his presence in the lineup.
And he could put fear in the mind of an opposing pitching staff.
McGriff with a 1-2 count. Terry hitting over 300. 2-2. Not a good first inning for Brian Williams. Started out with a bang on the first pitch, a home run by Langford. 4 hits in the inning and 3 runs. Terry McGriff trying to keep this long first half inning going. 2-2 pitch by Williams. And Terry stays alive as Eusebio, the catcher, couldn't hang on. A little different lineup today for Terry Collins and the Astros. No Bagwell, no Caminiti. Bagwell had 26 RBIs in the month of April, Al, and he missed setting the club record, or at least tying it by 3.
Well, Terry Collins is one that believes that even if a guy's swinging a hot bat, on occasion you'll take him out and rest him.
Instead, Sid Bream is in the lineup and playing first base, his first year with Houston.
And you have Donalds over at third base replacing Caminiti. They've been doing that a little more frequently.
2-2 to McGriff. Full count. Mabry almost picked off first, but he'll be running on this next pitch.
You see the way he came back and smiling at Jose Cardinal, he might have thought that that was ball 4. And he gets back.
I will bet you're right. He'll take off now. 3-2 to McGriff is foul past third.
Terry, when he's been behind the plate and starting games for the Redbirds, they're 5-2.
Maybe more importantly, Al, what has he done with Bob Tewksbury the last 2 times out?
And he really prides himself in working well and communicating with the pitching staff.
He's caught back-to-back complete games by Tewks. 3-2. And McGriff has been able to hit very well also. Hit .345 at AAA last year while playing in the Marlins organization. Right now he's hitting better than .300, and he's trying to help out his battery mate and give him some more runs to work with.
See Tewks just constantly trying to stretch out and trying to get on the mound. I mean, it's a sure you like all the runs to work with, but yet when you have a lot of confidence in your ability to pitch, say, okay, I want to get out there and establish something first.
Mabry running in ball 4, puts 2 on with 2 out, and a long first inning for Brian Williams. First walk issued by the right-hander. 3 runs have crossed the plate. Now it's 2 on, 2 out for Oquendo. And Mel Stottlemyre trying to cheer on his young right-hander. He's only 25 years old.
That's 12 walks in 15+ innings. He's hit 2 batters, and he's allowed 24 hits.
Can Oquendo reach into left field? That will load the bases for Tewksbury. No sense running into a 2 and out. So wisely Bucky Dent held Mabry at third. The bases are loaded, 2 out for Tewksbury.
Well, he not only gets in the on-deck circle, he comes to the plate here in the first inning. And Oquendo got a big base hit last night. Here he follows it up. He's well over 300.
So the bases are loaded for Bob Tewksbury, and already we have action in the Houston bullpen. As you take a look, the outfield plays so shallow when Oquendo's at the plate that it's tough on a base hit that goes right at an outfielder to drive in a run from second. Tewksbury pops it up to right, and that should end the first half inning. Mouton puts it away, but the Cardinals send all 9 to the plate in the first. Bob Tewksbury, the beneficiary of a 3-run, 5-hit inning. The Cardinals lead 3. They lead 3-0. Ray Langford got the first inning underway in grand fashion with first pitch swinging, a home run into left center field. The Cardinals scored 2 more. 5 hits, and after 1/2 inning, they lead Houston 3-0. Here's the Astros lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It's just plain smart. They'll lead it off with Mouton in right, Steve Finley and Craig Biggio. Sid Bream, the cleanup man, with Louis Gonzalez in left, Chris Donalds at third, Andujar Cedeno, Tony Eusebio, the catcher, Brian Williams batting ninth. The defense, Gilkey in left, Langford in center, Mabry, who has an RBI today already. He's in right, with Zeal, Oquendo, Alicea, Jeffries on the infield. Terry McGriff catching. Bob Tewksbury, 5-0.
5-0, and he's looking to become the Major League's first 6-game winner. You see 38+ innings, only 5 walks allowed, and 23 strikeouts. He led the staff last year with a strikeout total under 100, the only team in the major leagues that the leader had a fewer than 100 strikeouts. He should pass that century mark this year.
Off to a great start and a 1-1 count on Mouton, who is hitting 200. The 1-1 pitch into left field, and here come the Astros. A leadoff base hit by Mouton. This scouting report is brought to you by your Missouri-Illinois Dodge dealers. See your local Dodge dealer for the Dodge advantage.
Well, Bob Tewksbury throws a vast variety of pitches, but he changes speed on each and every one of them. You know, the other day he struck out Howard Johnson on a 3-0, 3 straight curveballs at 3-0, and each one was a different speed. Hitters are never comfortable when they're up there facing him. Keeps you off balance all the time. and he can help himself out with a bat, sacrificing, and in that last start, you saw his great ability defensively to make some plays.
Mouton running. McGriff, can he get him? Good throw. Safe at second base. Oquendo thought they had him. Mouton steals his fourth. I think McGriff thought they had him.
Let's take a look at it. Pretty strong throw by Terry McGriff, who has thrown out 2 of 6 before this steal attempt. I guess the hand was in there, or whatever you say. See, the hand's there, and he tags him on the side, so I think he is safe, but it's a pretty close play right there.
Well, that's a heck of a throw by McGriff, but a stolen base from Mouton. And now the 0-1 to Finley. Going to bunt, pops it up, puts it in a good spot, and gets a hit. He popped up the bunt, but things are going right for Steve Finley.
Oh, in that situation, you know, he's trying to bunt it hard enough to get it by the pitcher and have to make the second baseman field the ball. So he kind of catches it, a line drive, but you see it's far enough and hard enough to get by Tewksbury, and then Alisea had no play. This is the downside of having a long inning.
First and third, nobody out.
Now your pitcher has to regroup.
Craig Biggio hitting .337. He's hit 2 home runs. He's the tying run at the plate. Cardinals leading 3-0, bottom of the first inning, but the Astros trying to rally. Good pitch inside, 1-1. Well, the 3 killers against the Cardinals this year. These 3, Finley, Biggio, Bagwell.
I don't think that surprises anyone that they are a big part of their thunder. Torrey will tell you that Bagwell can beat you with a long ball, and he can hit 3-run home runs, but Biggio is the kind of guy that, you know, you really got to be careful. In situations, he can do so many things.
1-1 the count. Double play ball. The Cardinals give up the run, and they get the double play. So it's 3-1, but Tewksbury got exactly what he wanted. The double play, no RBI, but it's 3-1 Cardinals, and that is Bob Tewksbury. That's just Robert. He just knows how to do it.
And watch how he'll jam him. Come right inside. All running in there. He tried to open up, and he just bounces it to the shortstop.
Boy, he's fun to watch pitch, isn't he?
That last outing that he had, the 5-hit game against Colorado, struck out 10, didn't walk a man. He was just, I mean, you could do a pitching clinic on how well he performed.
Joe Coleman said that was maybe the best game he has ever seen Tewksbury pitch, and Tewksbury agreed.
Well, you know, Tewksbury said one thing. He says, I can't ever remember throwing a complete game with only a 1-run lead. 1-1 to Bream. 2-1 with Gonzalez next. Yeah, it's one thing to throw a complete game up 9-2, but when you're leading 2-1, that's a different story. And with a great hitting club like Colorado.
2 hits in the inning, 1 run, bases empty, and Bream into center for Langford. Raymond makes the catch, and that'll do it for the Astros in the first. Could have been worse, but Tewksbury got the double play ball, and after 1, 3-1 Cardinals. Spot actually into left center field, and then today against Brian Williams, first pitch. Same spot in the ballpark, left center field. It sneaked over the wall, and the Cardinals plated their first run, 1 of 3 in the first inning, and Ray Langford will lead off in the second.
In the year of the home run, we should have known something when Ray led off the game, the first game to be played in '94 with a home run.
Talking to Bucky Dent behind the batting cage, he said there's kryptonite in those balls. But if Superman walked on the field, he'd pass out. 0-1 on Langford. Alisea, Jeffries to follow if anybody gets on Zeal. Jammed him, strike 2.
Brian Williams will settle down a little bit. Guy's got a lot of talent, good arm, live arm, but when you don't throw strikes.
Langford watches that pitch drop low. He has been getting on base quite a bit. Second in the league in on-base percentage, .462. Couldn't ask for any more. Jeffries in the top 5 as well. Not this time. Struck him out. Second strikeout for Williams. Good fastball by the right-hander. He can get it up there.
Yeah, he hasn't been striking out many in the early going here, but you know, there's nothing wrong with him. I mean, he's got a very, very live arm. And you just might have to wait and see. This is his 3rd start, his 6th appearance of the year.
Luis looks at ball 1. Alicea singled through the right side, was running on a 2-1 pitch to Jeffries and scored back in the 1st. One and one with 1 out, nobody on, and Jeffries next. 2-1. The Reds are playing down in Florida, and the Marlins about to take 2 out of 3 in that series. They lead Cincinnati 9-0 in the bottom of the 4th. 3-1 now on Alicea. And the control, as you mentioned, Al, a problem for this 25-year-old right-hander.
It's tough for a lot of pitchers to pitch behind in the count.
Full count. Alicea trying to get on base ahead of Jeffries and Zeal. And he does. A 1-out walk.
You know, you have a pitcher that has a history of having trouble throwing strikes, and then you have a catcher trying to make him throw 3-2 curveballs.
First baseman, number 25,
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, I mean, you know, that's the one thing that I am not seeing, Joe, is guys that have enough confidence to say spot a fastball down and away, consistently down and away, and get a hitter out. You know, something where, okay, so they hit it hard, but they're going to get a ground ball, or you're going to hit it to where you can't be hit out of the ballpark. And you try and trick them, oftentimes you trick yourself.
1 on, 1 out for Jeffries. Don't see Gray go after that pitch very often. Strike 1. See if the Cardinals try to test Tony Eusebio, the backup catcher for the Astros. Scott Service with the day off. Alicea this season has stolen 2. Sid Bream, former Pirate, former Dodger, former Brave. He's bouncing around the National League now with Houston. And no tag applied by Sid. Well, if you want a veteran on your ball club that has been around in the postseason time with some championship teams, there's your man. One on Jeffries. Cardinals leading 3-1, top of the 2nd inning. And pretty close at first.
Just a side thought from last night's ball game. One thing that Alan Watson's going to have to work on.
Aaron pickoff throw led to a big Houston inning. Alicea running. Jeffries misses it. Louis is gone. Eusebio cuts down Alicea trying to steal second.
Louis didn't have a real good jump, and he doesn't have that good base stealing speed, but a very good throw and right there on the money. A little bit to the first base side, and he slides right into the tag.
So the base is empty for Jeffries, and the 1-2 pitch off Williams. Tough play for Biggio. Base hit. Greg 2 for 2.
Got a guy like Greg Jeffries. He can smell that base hit.
He put on the afterburners and got down the line pretty well.
It would have been a base hit through the middle, but Williams got a glove on it, and then it really slowed it down. Biggio had to wait for it to get there, and it was a close play, but Greg did beat it out. So 2 for 2.
That's a big hit these days with Zeal coming up next and the way he's hit the Astros. Zeal has hit 4 home runs against Houston this season, including 1 in this series. Wild pickoff throw, and Jeffries down to second. He'll stop there, and now a base hit could add to the Cardinal lead. It's been a wild series, and we've seen 3 errant pickoff throws. 2 by the Cardinals last night, now 1 here today by Brian Williams.
Well, you know, Sid Bream is a very good defensive first baseman, and I think he'll tell you that most of the time he will stop that ball, and should have on that occasion.
You'd see him just shout out to Brian Williams, hey, pick me up. That ball should have been handled, but was not, and Jeffries at second with 2 out now for Zeal.
You know, I think before the season we ranked Houston as a very good ball club. We knew they had a lot of offense, some real good hustling go-go type ball players, and felt they had a good pitching staff, and what we have seen in their pitchers hasn't disappointed us. They have a pretty solid starting. This is their 5th starter. Everyone has a weak spot in the 5th spot, but I mean, when you look at Mel Stoudemire, some of the arms that he has down the bullpen, they've got a lot to work with.
2-1, and so far Brian Williams staying away from Todd Zeal. But Bernard Gilkey waits on deck. Into left field, that might drop. Gonzalez has to play it for a hit. Here comes Jeffries. The throw nowhere near in time. It's a hit for Zeal, and a 4-1 Cardinal lead. Todd with good base running down to second on the throw home, and not a very good toss by Gonzalez out of left. He had a shot at Jeffries, but came up way short.
Hits it off the end of the bat. Not sure he didn't break it, so it 1 hops the left fielder. Gonzalez has a better than average arm, but he did not, as you said, he did not throw it very well, and it's way offline. Might not have really had the handle on it. Jeffries comes around. They pick up that run again. Now can Gilkey pick up Zeal? Another RBI for Todd. He has 15.
On a great pace. 1-0 to Gilkey with 2 out. A couple of big 2-out RBI hits today, one by Zeal in this inning and the other by Mabry in the first. And Todd Jones, a right-hander, already cranking it up for Houston in their bullpen. 2-0 to Gilkey. Easy for Finley in center, and that'll do it for the Cardinals in the second, but they get 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error that was costly, and 1 man left. The Cardinals have left 4, and after an inning and a half, they lead the Astros 4-1. The Cardinals lead the Astros 4-1. It's not that bad. Bottom of the second inning. Tewksbury back to work. Gonzalez leads it off. Look at that big breaking ball. Strike 1. Astros got a run in the first on 2 hits, but a double play turned behind Tewksbury made a big difference. 1-1 from Tewksbury. Gonzalez last night 2 out of 4. A lot of offense last night for the Astros. Gilkey in left. 1 away. Wednesday, May 25th, when the Cardinals host the Phillies, it's Exhilarama night at the ballpark. All fans 18 and under with a paid admission receive a free pass worth up to $21 for Exhilarama, a family fun center at Crestwood Plaza. Exhilarama night at the ballpark Wednesday, May 25th, when the Cardinals meet the Phillies.
I'm going to give you a homework assignment when we get back to St. Louis. Go find out what Exhilarama is for me.
I have a feeling that when we get back, you and I will have a couple of letters addressed to us from whoever the proprietors of Exhilarama at Crestwood Plaza are, and
they'll probably be thanking us for telling us what Exhilarama is. $21 offer, right?
That's right. Coming up, the Cards and the Phillies. 2-1 now on Chris Donalds, getting a start today, hitting .318, and he's proved to be a valuable pickup. The former Met playing well for Houston. 3-1. After Donalds, it'll be the right-handed hitting Andujar Cedeno. Well hit to left, but foul.
Even when Tewksbury is behind in the count, one thing that he's doing a little bit different now is he's not throwing that ball right over the middle of the plate. Still hitting the spots in or out. Struck out 10, a new career high for him his last outing, and didn't walk a man.
3-2 to Donalds with 1 out. Mentioned that Cincinnati is losing at Florida 9-0 in that game. A 3-run home run by Gary Sheffield, and now he's already hit 11
home runs. Oh, there were 3 guys that had 10.
Matt Williams, one of them. Got him on a 3-2 pitch. He fooled Donalds, and that's the first strikeout for Bob Tewksbury.
How many times can you say that in the course of a Bob Tewksbury game? And he fooled a hitter.
Just about every at-bat for each hitter. See where this pitch crossed. He got plenty of the plate.
Yeah. Little middle inner half. Fell behind 3-1. Didn't give in.
Here's Andujar Cedeno, the shortstop, hitting .343. Good fastball. Strike 1. Tewksbury has a 1-2-3 inning. After 2 at the Dome behind a big offense by the Cardinals. The top of the order doing it today. 4-1 St. Louis. 2 innings at the Astrodome here in Houston. 4-1 Cardinals on 7 hits. They lead the Astros. Time now for our out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Hardee's, your team for fresh fried chicken. It's all Florida down in Miami. Pittsburgh again leading Atlanta 1-0. Colorado out in front of Chicago 2-1 as the Cubs problems continue. Montreal at home leading San Diego 1-0 in the 6th. LA leading at New York 2-1 in the 5th. And Philadelphia leading 4-3 at home over San Diego. John Mabry leads it off and pops it up into shallow left. That, my friends, is a hit. It falls in front of Gonzalez, and Mabry 2 for 2. That out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Hardee's, your team for fresh fried chicken.
It is. And it jammed him, but he's strong enough to muscle it over the head of the infielders and in front of the left fielder Gonzalez. So a leadoff single here.
Cardinals, Al, already have 8 hits.
8 hits.
Trying to get that offense cranked up before they head to Colorado.
Joe's happier that these hits are falling on the good guy's side.
Ping pong, pinball into right, and it'll end up first and third on the hit by McGriff. Looked like that ball was headed up the middle anyway for a hit, but all Williams did was kick it into right and allow Mabry to head to third.
Yeah, because if it would have went into center field, Mabry wouldn't have been able to go to third. Breaking ball right back here. And as he tried to get his right leg out of the way, it went off the spikes. So Biggio was going up the middle. He had to reverse direction, goes into right, and the runners are at the corners, and nobody out. And the big RBI man hitting .357.
Cheito. First and third, nobody out for Mr. Oquendo. Ball one. Cheito is what they call him, or really Cheo, but Ito is for little. So he's Cheito. Up the middle, that'll score a run, but it's a double play. 5-1 Cardinals as Mabry scores. Bases empty, 2 out. Tewksbury coming up. And we'll pause 15 seconds for station identification on the Cardinal Television Network. Bob Tewksbury digs in, a swing and a miss at the first pitch. He has a 4-run lead, his biggest of the day. Tukes hitting .294. He's 0 for 1. Cardinals have scored in each of the first 3 innings. 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 here in the third. And Joe Torre getting a lot of offense here today. Tewksbury ahead in the count, 2-1. For the shortstop, Cedeno. And that'll do it for the Cardinals. 1 run on 2 hits. Nobody left. 2.5 innings complete in Houston. 5-1 St. Louis. Into the bottom of the third inning here in Houston. Much better today, Al Raboski. Much better. 5-1 Cardinals behind Bob Tewksbury, and you have a good feeling about this game.
Well, sure you do, because it starts with a pitcher. And when you have somebody that takes charge like a Bob Tewksbury, then you give him a lead. You have to feel very comfortable. And even as bad as the last 2 Saturday night massacres have been, 15-5 both times at the hands of the Astros, if you're going to get those games out of the way, do it all in one. And then instead of doing it 3 or 4 days, having trouble out of your bullpen or your starters.
Hey, I would bet that last night when the Astros were racking up those 15 runs, Tewksbury was on the bench, maybe cackling to himself, thinking, all right, have your fun tonight, because tomorrow it's my turn.
Well, I think Bob knows that if he just stays within himself, that he's always, or should have, a very good chance to win.
Eusebio at the plate, the number 8 hitter, then the pitcher Williams, and then back to the top man, Mouton. Tony hitting .211. Had such a good spring, he forced the hand of Terry Collins. Terry kept 3 catchers to start. Since then, they've traded away Eddie Taubensee.
Guy's a line drive hitter. Say he's extremely strong. You know, he'll hit some balls in batting practice. They'll say it'll go a long way, but he's a line drive hitter and hits a lot to the opposite field.
Blake 1 to second, maybe.
Yep.
And 1 out in the third inning. Eusebio grounds to Alicea. Bob Tewksbury trying to help the Cardinals have a happy flight to Colorado.
The pitcher, number 53, Brian Williams.
This flights can be a little dreary when you lose a game. Gerald Perry working on his strength. Been so impressed with his work ethic the past 2 years. In fact, the other day when the Cardinals were rained out on the getaway day in St. Louis, as Oquendo will show off his talents at short on the ground ball hit by Williams. Gerald Perry, instead of taking a little time, going to lunch, going to the mall, doing whatever in St. Louis, took that time to hit, work out, run, lift weights. And he was scrambling to make the plane when the Cardinals headed down here to Houston. Ozzie and Brian Jordan getting a rest today, and it's worked out well as the Cardinals lead 5-1 in the bottom of the third. 2 out, nobody on for James Mouton. James, a hit, a stolen base, and a run scored in the first inning. That microphone must be turned on downstairs by home plate, or it's in the glove of Terry McGriff. Or my headset's up too loud, but it sounds like Tewksbury's throwing about 98.
I'm sitting here laughing. You know, Mouton, like, I'm in a bunt like this, and the ball comes inside. Why don't you charge them out? Ball was inside.
1-1 pitch to Mouton. He's 2 for 2.
Watch him just lean out over the plate, and then he readjusts. The ball still was in the middle of the plate, and he had to readjust with his hands, and he pulled the ball sharply past Zeal. Clean base hit.
So 1 on, 2 out for Steve Finley. Speed racer, they call him. Mouton running, and a hit to left by Finley. And Mouton will end up at third. First and third, 2 out. Finley 2 for 2 today, 3 out of 4 with 4 RBIs last night, and a 2-run home run in the opener to tie the game in the 8th inning.
Ball just coming out in here. Right center. Let's see where the pitch was in the heart of the plate. See McGriff set up away. The ball sinking that way, but it stayed up a little bit. Finley was only 4 for 15 coming into this afternoon's action with facing Tewksbury. Now 6 for 17.
Well, here's a big at bat for the Astros and for Biggio as he faces Tewksbury. 2 on, 2 out. A 4-run Cardinal lead, bottom of the 3rd inning. Oquendo was shielded by Zeal, and a run will score. It's 5 to 2.
You know what, right there, Todd, you know, a third baseman tries to go to get to every ball he is capable of getting to his left, but with Oquendo playing short, Todd would have been better off letting Oquendo have that ball. See him come over here, and he never did get there, but by coming over, and then Oquendo kind of shied away from it. Now, I thought maybe Todd had deflected it, but Oquendo, you see right here, he just, for some reason, Zeal really did mess him up, but he was still quite a ways away from the ball.
Now 2 on, 2 out for Bream. That's foul. Get a look at that
have
play.
Better concentration on Oquendo's part.
Yeah, you look at that play on the replay, and with the naked eye, it looked like Zeal was right in front of Oquendo. But on the replay, he was still a ways away, and Oquendo just shied away. Still a tough play and a hit for Biggio, making it a 3-run game. Now Bream, tying run at the plate.
But a play that has to be made.
Yep. Bad break for Tewksbury, and for the Cardinals, they give back a run. And now open themselves up to maybe a bigger inning.
And with Oquendo's arm, he would have been, with Biggio running, it would have been close, but I would have to bet on Oquendo.
2-1 on Bream, who is 1 for 5 this season. Flied out to deep center his first time up, so it gets interesting here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 3 hits in the inning after the first 2 were retired. Two on, 2 out, 2-1 pitch. And Bream, it doesn't look like having any problem picking up exactly what Tewksbury is trying to do.
I'll say it, a veteran. Only batting for the 6th time in '94. Came off the disabled list when the club was traded Taubensee to Cincinnati.
Alicea flags it down and throws him out. Boy, he almost threw that away. But he made the play. He had all kinds of time with Bream running. Alicea, the bottom line is, did the job, and the Astros get 1 run on 3 hits, and they trail by
Cardinals lead 5-2, fourth inning. They've scored in every inning. It appears they need as many runs as they can get. Here's the one that gave Houston a run.
Todd came over there and he did not get near it, but here you see Alisea flagged this down, picks up, and he had all the time in the world with Sid Bream throwing in. Jeffries had to make a nice play because he almost pulled him off the bag. Didn't have to throw that one.
Here is Tewksbury covering, and he was happy for the putout as Houston left a couple. Now we're on to the top of the order. This is the third time in the game that Langford has started an inning. He's at the two extremes. He hit the first pitch of the afternoon for a home run, and then he struck out in the second against this pitcher, Brian Williams. Cardinals 5 runs, 9 hits, plus a couple of walks, and they've left 4 and hit into a double play and lost a man stealing. How are you today?
I'm doing very well.
You threw a little batting practice today. You can still bring it up there pretty good.
Yeah, when I get sore and stiff in between.
It hurts, huh? And Joe Torre, who had been struggling with a bad back, also threw some batting practice today. Way up the ladder to Langford, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ray has hit 6 home runs. He hit 7 all of last year. 20 is his career high for his season. And he'll be followed by Alisea and Jeffries here in the Cardinal 4th as the Redbirds try to sneak out of town with a victory. They lead 5-2. Langford asks for time again. This pitcher, Williams, is the number 5 starter for Houston. They have Kyle, Swindell, Durebeck, Harnish, and this fellow. They have a pretty good pitching staff, but their bullpen is a little shaky, very shaky.
Well, they got good arms down there. They only have one real proven guy, and that's Williams, who's off to the shakiest start.
That's the other Williams, Mitch Williams.
Mitch.
Langford strikes out for the second time. Well, next Friday night when we play the Mets at home, it's Busch Light Mug Night for the first 35,000, 21 and over with a paid admission. This is the latest in a series of thermal beer mugs featuring the new Central Division logo. That's Friday night, 7:05. We play Nueva York.
You have every one of those.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Mugs, don't you?
I do. Here's a strike to Alisea hitting in the number 2 spot. He has singled, walked, scored, and been out stealing. That's a hit for Luis. That's his second. When you're hitting in the number 2 spot, frequently you get more pitches to hit.
And psychologically, I think a hitter always goes up there saying, I'm going to get better pitches to hit. Louis has always struggled in the month of April throughout his career.
That's 10 base hits, and for the 4th time today, Todd Jones goes to the bullpen. He's probably saying either leave me alone or put me in the game. Let's see if Jeffries, who is 2 for 2, can drive home another. And ball 1. He doubled home a run in the first. He singled and scored in the second. And his average is .385. 1 on, 1 out, and they play him to pull. Need more runs against this Houston ball club. They have a good hitting team, and they're hot with the bats. They showed it last night. They demolished the Cardinals 15-5 after beating them in extra innings the night before. There's the manager, Terry Collins, with his pitching coach, Mel Stottlemyre. 2 balls, no strikes. 1, great. 3, ball 3. That's one thing about Jeffries. He usually shows a great deal of patience at the plate.
And most good hitters do that. They have that ability to pick out the pitch they want.
He might be swinging. No, he walks, and it's up to Zeal. 2 on, 1 out. That is the 3rd pass. It brings out Terry Collins, and I guess we're going to get Todd Jones. Why are you taking me out? Williams is saying. I've only walked 3. Given 10 hits. That's it. And the new one comes in from the bullpen. We're going to take a local break as Todd Jones comes in. His first opponent will be Zeal with 2 on, 1 out, and the Cardinals leading 5-2 here in the 4th. We saw him last year down here at the ballpark drinking a Budweiser and eating some popcorn and having a good time.
A little more relaxed.
Yeah.
I remember you went to a banquet last year, Election Day.
I did.
Remember that story?
And what?
And you voted for Mr. Bush,
Yeah.
President Bush in St. Louis. You went to Chicago. You voted for him again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Shannon. Tell them that story.
Yeah. Let's see if the Cardinals can get some more runs here. Need a hit from Zeal. Swing, and he popped it up a little too high. It's going to be caught. Runner tags at second and is coming over, and both runners advance safely with 2 out. Zeal hit one deep, but caught for the second out, and it's up to Gilkey. Jeffries tagged up and alertly went to second.
Gonzalez has a little better average arm than most left fielders. He makes a strong throw, but Alice is ahead of the throw. And as you said, Jeffries, the trail man, has to watch and see what the lead guy does.
Well, here's a fellow we have to get going, Bernard Gilkey. His average has gone under 300 after a brilliant start, and a base hit would be worth $1 million. Strike from Todd Jones.
Jack, I think Bernard he won't use this excuse, and he's got a little wrist injury that's giving him more problems than he's leading people to believe.
High and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Did you talk about Mark Whitten taking BP today?
We mentioned that.
Ooh, he was bombing the ball. Looks like he's going to go now to Louisville and probably come back up this weekend when we're back home. Need a hit from Gilkey, and he hits it right at Biggio. Now the Cardinals have left 6. That's no good. And we go into the bottom of the 4th inning, and the Redbird lead is 5-2 behind Tewksbury. Well, I'd have felt a lot better if Zeal or Gilkey could have had a base hit. It's still 5-2. And first up is Luis Gonzalez. And there's another look at George Bush, former president. Here is time called by the umpire as Bob Tewksbury delivers to Gonzalez, who flied to left his first time. Gonzalez, Donalds, and Cedeno here in the home half of the 4th. Cardinals have out-hit Houston 10-5. Lead 5-2. Gonzalez hitting .247. And Tewksbury got one by him. Strike 1. Boy, they had a big crowd here last night. Almost 50,000.
3rd highest in their regular season attendance in their history.
And strike 2. This Cardinal catcher, Terry McGriff, has just about taken the job away from Eric Pappas, who's 0 for his last 34 at-bats. And the Cardinals are likely to get Pagnozzi back when we come home. Up the middle, and Alice has to make a good play and can't do it. Boy, he was really playing in the full, wasn't he? Gee, another cheap hit.
Playing the pull, and now a little dribbler, 32 hopper through the infield, and going into the outfield, tried to turn and throw, couldn't hold on to him.
How in the world can that be a hit? I'm not saying that it wasn't officially a hit. I mean, how can you get a hit on a ball like that on the AstroTurf? Now the batter is Donalds, who hit a home run against St. Louis in Busch Stadium most recently. A strikeout victim his first time, and that was the 6th hit for Houston. They had a couple of bleeders here, and they got a cheap run in the last inning. Cards could use another double play. Ball one to Chris Donalds, a former New York Met player. Mr. Bush turned around and waved. We've had the pleasure of being with him in the past. Runner gets back. Leadoff hit by Gonzalez. I bet Gonzalez didn't expect to get a hit when he hit that ball.
I would have to think so. Still feeling the sting.
What a cheap hit that was. And there's hitting room through the right side as a result.
You talk to Gonzalez. He's a good kid.
Oh, yeah, he's one of the many talented players from Tampa, Florida. Chris Donalds takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Tewksbury, 5-0. First to win 5 in the big leagues, trying to become the first to win 6. He has 2 complete games under his belt.
Big Ben McDonald of the Baltimore Orioles is 5-0.
We see that McDonald in spring training. He's a good pitcher.
Yeah, he's 5-0, and I think Messina is 5-1.
A lead by Gonzalez. And a little chopper. 1 out. Tewksbury, believe me, folks, had to stay with that ball. It had plenty of English on it. Probably would have gone foul if he hadn't touched it. But he's fortunate that he gloved it and got it in the middle of the glove. The runner advances.
Good point, Jack. You know, because a lot of times people take their eye off that ball and kind of see where they are or see who's covering it first. And he had to keep it on because that was, if he took his eye off it, that ball was still going to carry into foul territory.
Well, here's Cedeno. He's a dangerous hitter. He wrapped one back to the mound his first time. He has 5 home runs. Runner at second, 1 out. And ball 1. We showed you the other night on our telecast where he hit a ball here most recently into the gray seats in the 4th deck 500 feet away. People who have been here in the Astrodome all the while says the longest home run in the history of this park. He's not that big. Here's where it went up in the gray seats in left center field down below the lower left-hand corner of the American flag. Right up in there, about 500 feet away. And the ball doesn't travel very much in this ballpark, they say. It's 1-1, and Cedeno chops it to third. Zeal feels a tough hop and makes a good throw. That was a good play by Zeal. 2 out. He didn't know quite what he was going to get off that last bounce.
Jack, you can just see his confidence so much better. Used to always shy away from the balls around the cutout areas, and this ball right off the end of the bat. And
he had to bend down there to get it.
Bend down and get it and everything like this, but his throwing so much better. It starts with his footwork.
Cardinals are 7th in the league in defense and getting better after a slow start in that department. Let's see if Tewksbury can strand that runner. Eusebio is the batter, grounded out 4-3 first time. And a foul. Boy, this guy swings hard. He is strong. Eusebio 6'2", 180 from the Dominican.
He is strong. They say he's a line drive type hitter, and he hits an awful lot of his balls to the opposite field. Grounded out to second base the first time.
He's their number 2 catcher and working today. And a foul. Look out, man. Whoo. Ooh. Whoo. That was a whistler. 0-2 the count.
And it's a good thing I think there's some empty seats.
That ball killed an empty seat. Hit a fella in the ribs down there.
Got a cowboy.
Cowboys don't cry. 0-2 with a runner at second, 2 out. Strike on the corner, and Eusebio's punched out. Second strikeout for Tewksbury, and he and the Cardinals still lead 5-2 after 4. And first up, John Mabry. Mabry drills one into right, into the corner. It's his 3rd hit of the day. It's off the scoreboard, and he is into second base, and that new scoreboard apparently deprived him of his first major league home run. Was it up high enough for a home run before they put that scoreboard there?
I do believe so, Jack. It went over the yellow line. You can see where the yellow line is in the corner. But off the scoreboard, it's in play. Look at him readjust. The breaking ball off speed, and he hooks this ball, and it just above it.
It would have been a home run. It caused zeal last night. Here is McGriff. Let's see if the Cardinals can get this runner home.
I can't believe what former President Bush said.
What did he say?
Said he's going to come up here after you leave.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Runner at second, and McGriff trying to hit the ball to right. Fouls it 1-1, and as he bats against Todd Jones. This relief pitcher is in his second inning of work. He did a good job of quelling the uprising in the fourth. Let's see if McGriff, who has walked and singled, can move the runner. President Bush is going to come up here on his way out of the ballpark. And
no, after you leave.
I will be gone. Yeah. Inside to McGriff. Count goes to 3-1. Leadoff double by Mabry, his third hit. Hit number 11 for the Cardinals today. That's a ball, and Oquendo will come up with 2 on. Oquendo has singled and didn't help the scoring in the first. Then he singled in the third. Or excuse me, grounded out in the third into a double play and a run scored. The walk's the first by Jones and the fourth given to the Cardinals, so they've had 14 runners and lead 5-2. Oquendo is going to bunt and missed it. They're going to put the onus on Tewksbury, I guess, to drive in a run. Well, that's what happens when you don't have RBI power. You would think that Oquendo would take a crack at pulling the ball. He's driven in 1 run this year. Cardinals have had men on base in every inning. They've already left 6. There's strike 2, and Oquendo is being chewed up by Todd Jones.
Well, I think he was going to show bunt and then turn around and flail away, but he wanted to punch it to the opposite side, and he got a perfect pitch to pull it, like you said. Now they're going to try and go up the ladder.
Ball 1. Ozzy's on the bench today, and Oquendo playing. Oquendo has 5 hits for the year. 2 on and nobody out. Not much speed on the bases or at the plate. And that foul ball keeps Oquendo up there. Gene Gieselman was the target on that one. With Galen Pitts, C.J. Cherry.
They pull the ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Cardinals lead 5-2. Oquendo's the big man because Tewksbury's up there next. Dunk one in, Oquendo. Out of play, and it stays 1-2. Nice catch by the youngster with the glove. Oquendo got a base hit his first time, but the outfielders are so shallow the runner at second couldn't score. Now it's Mabry at second and McGriff at first. And it's 2-2. Cardinals left 3 in the first, a runner in the second, 2 in the fourth. Torrey wants more runs. We're in the 5th inning. Cincinnati's losing in the 7th at Florida, 9-2. Oquendo popped it up. That's not going to help anybody. It's a foul ball, and the left fielder has it. That's the first out of the inning, and up comes Tewksbury. Perhaps he's bunting. Oquendo didn't help.
Well, the way Tewksbury swings the bat, and another side aspect to having Langford hit behind him. You know, you don't really have to give Tewksbury up.
But then they could walk Langford and pitch to Alicea. So we'll see how they play it here. Tewksbury is 0 for 2, flied to right, popped to short. This is a tough pitcher, Todd Jones. I think he's going to be a very good reliever for Houston.
They have classified him as a closer in the future.
Mabry was almost caught dreaming. They almost picked him off at first base earlier.
Well, this was a little bit of an unusual move.
Almost got the shortstop dreaming also.
And he got screened by Mabry.
That's what happened. You go in there standing up. Sometimes you get that wild throw. That's Cedeno, the shortstop. Where is he going? They expect a bunt from Tewks. He takes the strike. This is the toughest base running play in the game. When you're at second base and there's a runner at first and the batter is bunting. You concur?
Oh, yes.
And Mabry, excuse me, is not a fast runner.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can keep that shortstop jockeying around and keep that runner close at the second base bag, if he doesn't get that good jump, oftentimes you'll get him at third.
Let's see if Tewks switches off. And he bunts it foul, and that's strike 2. On deck, it's Langford. Cardinals trying to help their 12-9 record. There's Bucky Dent coaching at third. He wants to talk to the Cardinal batter.
On the way Tewksbury can switch off, I was thinking like you, Jack.
On that last pitch?
He really works at it. I mean, a lot of times guys will go out there and one time in batting practice will fake bunt and hit. He does it probably about 8 or 10 times.
Mabry at second. McGriff at first with 1 out. And he pops it in the air. He's out. And it's smack up to Ray Langford. This is the kind of stuff that loses ball games for you. You fail to move runners over. You fail to bunt runners over. Now, if they get Langford, the momentum is going to swing back to Houston, even though they trail by 3. And Langford could alleviate some of the pressure with a base hit. He has struck out twice, both times against Williams, so he faces this batter, Todd Jones, for the first time, 2 on, 2 out. He hit the first pitch of the game for a home run. Needs a 2-out hit. Takes a slider strike. Langford could add to the 5-2 lead here in the 5th. Strike 2. They warm up another pitcher down in the right field corner for the Houston Ball Club, and we have Tom Edens warming up. 2 quick strikes on Langford. It's been a nasty inning with a leadoff double, then a walk with nobody out. Now they're still there with 2 out. Struck him out. That's the 3rd time Langford has fanned today. And the first strikeout for Jones. The Cardinals have left 2. They have left 8. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that fresh, distinctive taste. Crisp, clean, classic Bud. And by Honda Power Equipment, makers of the Harmony Walk Behind and Riding Power Mowers. Honda, nothing's easier. Tewksbury will pitch to a pinch hitter to start the home half of the 5th with the Cardinals on top 5-2. Am I unnecessarily squeamish about this game, Al?
Well, with Tewksbury on the mound, hopefully you are.
Okay, but you're not guaranteeing me that I...
Well, no, I'm not. Nothing is guaranteed in this game, is it?
No. This is Mike Felder, former Milwaukee player, former Giant player. Edens will pitch the 6th inning to the Cardinals, and Tewksbury bent a curve in there. The reliever is through. Jones, 1 2/3, no runs, 1 hit, struck out 1, walk 1. Fastball inside to Felder. Foul out of play. Cardinals got all of their runs against the starter Brian Williams, and 10 of their hits against him. Tewksbury ahead of the leadoff hitter, the pinch hitter. He is out. He wanted to reach for it, but couldn't pull the old trigger. He's out to start the 5th. Tewksbury's 3rd strikeout.
Spotting the ball really well and throwing some fastballs by the last 2 hitters.
Well, here's a fellow who's been feeling rather frisky today. He's had a couple of hits. Raised his average to 220. James Mouton. He has scored twice. He's a flashy little player. He can run. Nice to keep him off base because the hitter behind him is hotter than a sheriff's pistol. This is Mouton. 2 for 2. Tewksbury gets ahead. Strike 2 with a breaking ball.
Watch how McGriff really helps his pitcher out. The way he sets up, sells his stance and the location for the umpire. There's a mistake.
There's a foul out of play. Still stays 0-2.
I mean, that ball right there, 0-2. Tewksbury allowed the ball to be right down the middle.
Well, maybe Mouton was looking for one outside. When they have a station break coming up after Mouton does something, either on or out. 0-2 the count. Tewksbury's fan 3. And they make it number 4. Let's pause 15 seconds for station identification on the Cardinals television network.
WRSP-TV, WCCU-TV, Springfield, Urbana.
Well, here's the question. How do you get this guy out? Finley had 4 hits last night, 2 hits today. There's a foul. He had 2 bunt hits, 1 of those today. Might as well tell him what's coming, toss him the ball, give him a fungo, and let him get himself out.
Sometimes that's what you have to do.
His average up to 337. He's added about 40 points to his average in this weekend series against the Cardinals. And he has hit home runs in each of the last 2 games. And he drills it foul. That's strike 2. Now Tewksbury is in a spot to strike out the side. Here in the 5th.
Tewksbury struck out a career-high 10 in his last start. He has 4 strikeouts here and hasn't walked a man in those 14 2/3 innings.
Slow curve in the dirt.
13 2/3 innings.
He's still, even though he's walked 5 this year, he's ahead of all the other pitchers in the league. He has walked for 9 innings. Just missed outside. Sometimes the catcher's sign is the way he touches his mask. Front of the mask, the left side, right side, or the fingers. You don't know.
Jam him inside.
And he hit it right to Jeffries. That takes care of 5 innings, and the Cardinals lead it 5-2. I think the Cardinals need more runs. We've played 5. The Cardinals lead at 5-2. A Visa or MasterCard is all you need to purchase Cardinal tickets by phone. Agents are waiting to take your call Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And there's the number, area code 314-421-2400. Folks, Friday, June 3rd, we take on the Giants. Ice draft from Budweiser Can Cooler Night. For fans 21 and over with a paid admission, receive a foam can cooler, courtesy of Ice Draft from Budweiser. That date, June the 3rd. And Joe Torre has had men on base in every inning, has scored 5, has left 8, faces a new pitcher. Tom Edens comes in to be the 3rd hurler, and the first to greet him will be Luis Alicea, who is on base 3 times already today. He singled and scored. He walked. He was out stealing, and he had a wasted single in the 4th. Edens is a curveball pitcher and throws low.
Boy, he's got, you don't see a lot of real true curveball pitchers anymore.
The hook.
And this guy has the downer.
And Alicea pops it up. It's a foul ball. And it's out of play. So he got a break on that one as Gonzalez was playing him off the line. Then he got a bad break. It was fouled by only a narrow margin.
Couple inches. Boy, this was real close. See the umpire right on the line, and it truly was just inches away.
Inches away. The Cardinals scored 3 in the first. A home run by Langford, a single by Alicea, double by Jeffries, a 2-out single by Mabry. Scored a run in the second on a walk to Alicea, was out stealing. Jeffries singled, advanced on an error and scored, and they got their 3rd run in the 3rd inning. On a hit by Mabry, a single by McGriff, and a double play ball. Good base running by Mabry. They haven't scored since the 3rd and have left 8. The count goes to 3-1 to the leadoff hitter Alicea. Edens was with Houston last year. 3-2. Alicea taking all the way. He precedes Jeffries to the plate. We are in the 6th. 5-2 Cardinals. A little pop fly for Gonzalez. Leadoff man is gone. That's the first time they've retired Alicea today, and it brings up Jeffries with the bases empty. Sometimes Al Roboski, the good hitters, the good RBI men, are not as efficient when the bases are empty as they are when they're men on base.
Yeah, this really is funny because they'll tell you that they're much more relaxed, more comfortable, more disciplined when they have men on. There's that curveball.
Ball 1 to Jeffries. I used to watch Bob Feller pitch, and everybody used to think of Feller as a fastball pitcher. He had a tremendous curveball. And he combined that with the fastball. That's when he became a Hall of Famer.
Same thing with Koufax.
Right.
Even Nolan Ryan. You know, it wasn't until he came up with a split finger.
A foul ball out of play, hit by Jeffries. 1-2. Well, the relievers have been good thus far for Houston. Todd Jones came on, and with 2 on, 1 out in the 4th, get out of the inning. Then he put 2 on in the 5th, but got out of that. Now Edens throws it up and in. 2-2. Cincinnati's batting in the 8th and trailing 9-2 in their game in Florida. He wouldn't go for it. Colorado's 2-2 after 6 at Chicago. San Diego's 2-2 in the bottom of the 8th at Montreal. And a chopper foul. And the Mets are leading the Dodgers 7-4 after 7. Philadelphia is ahead 6-3 in the 5th over the Giants. Dykstra hit a home run, then left the game with a bad back. And Pittsburgh's beating Atlanta again 4-0 in the 8th. Oh, come on, that wasn't a strike. He thought he had walked, and the umpire punched him out. That's the first strikeout for Edens. Was that a strike?
Well, actually, Jack, it was supposed to be a fastball inside.
Watch the catcher
goes inside, and then to get a strike on the outside, you know, oftentimes you don't get it whether it's a strike or not because it wasn't where the pitcher was supposed to throw it.
You see the catcher pull the ball into the strike zone. 2 out for Zeal. Zeal is 1 for 3, an RBI single in the 2nd. Angel Hernandez is the plate umpire. 5-2 here in the 6th. Nothing going on. Ball 2 to Zeal. There's the crew here with Wendelstedt, the crew chief. He's at first today. On the corner.
He's got that real good curveball, but he's got a pretty good fastball too. And he's got to throw over the top to have the same release point for curveball and fastball.
Zeal pops her up foul and out of play. from what I've seen of Edens, he appears to be a very efficient pitcher.
Yeah, you have to like the middle relief. You can't get a whole lot better.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The count to Zeal. This guy's trying to set the Cardinals down in order for the first time today. 5-2 Redbirds. And a foul. Look out, folks.
God, looked like he was looking for that curveball there. He got it. And a fan did too.
Sometimes it's tough to get out of the way of those line drives. You go one way and the ball goes right with you.
Or you get somebody that's going to screen it.
Yeah.
Screen you, try and catch that ball in the last second. They pull away and you're left unprotected.
2-2 to Zeal. Here's Zeal popping it up, foul and out of play. Here's the previous foul ball, the one that Zeal pulled. You can see how hard he hit it.
See, there are the guys reaching out.
Yeah, till the last moment.
It looked like it didn't go in the stands.
He popped it up into the left center, and Cedeno wants it. That's the first time the Cardinals have gone down 1-2-3. Biggio will lead it off in the 6th for Houston. Out of play. Biggio, a former catcher. They moved him to second base. He's out of Seton Hall University. He can run.
Maybe he's as fast as a player we can think of from the right side.
Tewksbury flashed at him, and it's a base hit. Tewksbury thought he had it. He had retired 6 in a row, but this is a leadoff hit up the middle. Tewksbury is a good fielder ordinarily. The ball went right past his glove.
Down underneath the glove, and Bob will tell you 9 times out of 10 he does gobble that one up. Get a better look at it here. Ball comes back over the middle. Still you get the ground ball, and he should have caught that.
Did he flinch a little? No, he was looking at it.
A lot of times you just don't know how hard the ball's being hit.
Cards need a double play, but instead it's a hit for Green. And the tying run comes to the plate just like that. This is what I've been fearful of all afternoon. That's the first hit of the day for Bream, his 2nd hit of the year.
Sid not really a home run hitter at all. He's pretty good size, but he's more of a line drive hitter.
He was a double play candidate, but he would not oblige.
Yeah, he hits anything on the ground, it's 2.
Now the Cardinals need a triple play, and the tying run's at the plate, nobody out. Gonzalez, he is singled 1 for 2. And they play this hitter the opposite field. And he ties the game.
Second home run for Gonzalez. He has 11 RBIs, tie score, and 1 chink in the armor of Tewksbury as he's allowed now 8 home runs. That wasn't a cheap one.
It's a 5-5 game. And Donalds is up. And ball 1 to him. Houston's been popping the ball against the Cardinals. They've been swinging from their heels. Cards can't slow them down. They scored 4 runs Friday night, 15 runs last night, 5 runs today. And the Cardinals warm up John Habian. I thought this might happen to the way the Cardinals were leaving people on, and then ran into the effect of Tom Edens. Cardinals have left 8, hit into a double play, and lost a man stealing.
I knew you did. And
I just felt like that all day, Al. I'm not. And still nobody out in the inning. The count 2-2 on Donaldson. Ooh, that was a long home run by Gonzalez.
Sometimes, you know, you can have your ace out there, or you can just see the way the game is going, and you just get a sense or a feeling about it. I was just trying to see it in an emotional sense through Tewksbury.
You were more optimistic than I. And a foul keeps Donalds up there. 2-2.
Yeah, Tewksbury gave up back-to-back hits in the first, and he gave up 3 consecutive hits in the third.
Leadoff single in the fourth, and they didn't score.
And then now three straight hits here to start the sixth. But the 3-run home run.
Well, that ball up the middle by Biggio changed things.
Sure.
They use some old-timers here as the so-called ball boys. And that gentleman, I think, is from St. Louis. They call him the Golden Retriever. High ball for Langford to chase. That's amazing that a left-handed batter would hit the ball that far. Donald's hit one like that in St. Louis that went out of the ballpark in left center field.
Jack, that's where you get the ideas of the ball being juiced, because you used to think that, particularly here in the Dome and in Busch Stadium, 2 of the biggest ballparks in all of baseball, that if you fall behind the count, just throw the ball out away from a hitter. Just let him hit a long fly ball to center field. But here you run out of real estate.
Shortstop and pitcher want to talk it over, and the umpire wants to hustle them along. He doesn't want them to talk. The batter is Cedeno. And a strike.
Well, the good news is that the Florida Marlins defeated Cincinnati for the second consecutive day. That game is 9-4, and it's over down in Florida.
Well, they beat Cincinnati last night 4-3, and today 9-4. Cedeno right on top of the plate, and he's hit by the pitch. Well, that's going to happen to you when you stand on the plate and dive into the ball. And Tewksbury hit him with a pitch. He'll go to first base with 1 out.
I think Joe Torre's going to say, wait a minute, I think that hits the knob.
Sounded like it hit the bat.
Or you have to show an intent to get out of the way. Remember Don Drysdale, and now are they at?
They
well,
want to know
least,
if he swung at it. That's what they're asking.
I mean, because as you say, they're diving in, and remember Don Drysdale when he had the consecutive scoreless streak.
It must have hit the bat, otherwise it would have hurt more than that. Let's watch the replay on this pitch to Cedeno. He's right on top.
Well, when you hear that sound, it sure sounds like bat.
Did to me. He's not going to walk away without any. I'll be quiet here. Well, now Eusebio takes a strike. This fellow's 0 for 2. Cedeno is a threat to run.
When Drysdale had his scoreless streak, with the bases loaded, he hit Dick Dietz of the Giants, and the umpire said Dietz did not show any attempt to get out of the way, and they put it back.
Who was the umpire?
Was it Hill?
I think it was Harry Winterset. Runner at first. That's the lead run with 1 out. Eusebio cracks it to third. They might get 2. And they missed the double play. Alicea should have made a better throw. So that allows Houston to get the pitcher out of the way. That play went 5-4, and Eusebio is not a good runner. He'd have been out on a better throw by Alicea.
Alicea, you see just the form there. He just standing flat-footed and just slings the ball.
Instead of coming across the base.
Coming across to have a little momentum going with you to help you out.
So here's Kevin Bass for Edens with a runner at first and 2 out. Houston has caught the Cardinals. And Bass is up. He's hitting .385 and got a lot of the hits against the Cardinals. Ball 1. Edens pitched a perfect inning with a strikeout. And the left-hander will be the new pitcher for Houston and their 4th pitcher of the day.
Mike Hampton.
2-0. This was a hit by Biggio up the middle past the glove of Tewksbury. Base hit by Green. 3-run homer by Gonzalez. A hit batsman. Fielder's choice. And a bouncer to Alicea. We've played 6 and haven't determined a thing. We're tied 5-5.
Innings, and now the game is tied 5-5 into the 7th. This program authorized under television rights granted by the St. Louis National Baseball Club Incorporated solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or the use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the St. Louis National Baseball Club Incorporated is prohibited. Gilkey leads it off against the new left-hander Mike Hampton, who was the winner here in the opening game of this series, accounting for that 1-0 record. A ball and a strike to Gilkey, who is hitless tonight or this afternoon, and he has struggled this season against the Astros, to say the least. 1-1 pitch. It'll be Gilkey, then Mabry, then McGriff.
Well, I think that the Astros pitching staff has coincided with his wrist problem. This Hampton, one more of the fine arms that they have in the Astros bullpen.
Gilkey has only 2 hits all season against Houston in better than 20 at-bats. 3-2 to Gilkey, leading off. Game tied at 5, 7th inning. Goes after a bad pitch and strikes out. Eusebio throws to first, and that'll do it for the leadoff man. Gilkey strikes out on a bad ball down and in.
Now Gilkey won't say it, and he says his wrist is fine. It's the right wrist, but you know how important your hands are to hitting, and he just goes after pitch in the dirt, got away.
Now Mabry looks at strike 1. John Mabry 3 for 3 with 2 singles, a double, an RBI, and a run scored.
We need 385.
Hampton knocks it down, makes the play. 2 out. And the Cardinals have had their fair share of trouble with this left-hander who last year was with Seattle, Mike Hampton.
Got a fair breaking ball and spots his pitch as well. Mitch Rodriguez is in the Cardinals' pen if they can get to that point in the batting order.
Well, right now they're at the number 7 spot, and McGriff with 2 out, nobody on. 1-1 on Terry, who has not hit a home run in a Cardinal uniform, but today 1 for 1 with 2 walks. And overall hitting .333.
Like the changeup.
Looked like a good changeup. 1-2.
He really does have great arm action. Got to have everything look like your fastball, and if you can spot this pitch out there down and away consistently, you're going to get a lot of right-handed batters.
1-2 to McGriff. Hampton with the easy play off the mound. What a good inning from Mike Hampton. A strikeout and 2 comebackers. Time to stretch here in Houston. Cardinals and Astros tied at 5. Here in Houston, the best way to view Cardinals baseball is in the comfort of your very own party facility. Your group will enjoy the many amenities offered exclusively to Diamond Suite and party room users, including beer, soda, Eagle snacks, and your own personal bartender. The suites also include a climate-controlled social area. Suites and rooms are still available, so call that number on your screen, 314-421-3060, and enjoy Cardinal baseball in style. Top of the order against Tewksbury, Mouton, Finley, and Biggio. 7th inning and a tie game. You kind of got the feeling, Al, that we'd be looking back at one inning or another and looking at wasted opportunities by the Cardinals and wishing that we could go back and maybe do it again, because the Cardinals have left 8, and that's cost them.
Yeah, Jack was mentioning that. If I'm thinking.
Oquendo has to hurry. Good arm. 1 out. Boy, that's Oquendo for you, Al. He shows you that good arm. There are many shortstops that put that ball in their pocket or throw it late to first.
See, this is what I was talking about. You see Todd here now with Oquendo back there. He didn't really go and push it to his left, because you can allow Oquendo with that great throwing arm to make that play in the hole. When Ozzie is playing short, he's got to go to the extreme and go as far as he can to his left.
Here's Finley. Steve 2 for 3. Leadoff man gone. He has 2 singles, and in this series has been everywhere, including 2 home runs. He has 7 home runs for the year. 7th inning, tie game, and Finley with a 1-1 count. How about those Cubs, Al? They're losing at home 6-2 in the 7th inning.
I love it.
Oh, Tom Trebelhorn having a rough go of it. Finley easy to second, right at Alicea, 2 out.
About 2 days ago, he had the press conference for the irate fans at the fire station. You know, if he goes around down the street in that was behind left field, but behind right field there is the police station. Go over there and have a bigger one with more riot control.
It's a good point.
This would be 0-10 at Wrigley Field if they go on to lose this one.
Here's Biggio, 2 for 3 in his hit up the middle in the 6th inning. Started that 3-run rally, capped on a home run by Gonzalez. 1-1. Good series for Craig Biggio, as he usually has against the Cardinals, hitting better than .500. Scored 6 times, driven in 2. Last year he hit .500 for the season against the Cardinals, 20 for 40. He's jammed, strike 2. One-two to Biggio. 2-2. Tewksbury trying to retire the Astros in order here in the 7th inning. The Cardinals in the 8th will have the number 8 hitter Oquendo. Then they'll make the decision on Tewksbury. He's due to bat 2nd in the inning. Struck him out looking, and a perfect inning for Tewks in the 7th. He has struck out 5. And after 7 under the dome, the Cardinals and Astros tied 5-5. Oquendo leads off 8th inning, game tied at 5. It'll be Oquendo, then Geronimo Pena to pinch hit for Tewksbury, and then Langford. The Cardinals try to rally here in Houston and regain the lead. Good pitch by Hampton, who has been outstanding. And a perfect 7th inning. Now he's 0-2 on Oquendo, leading off the 8th. And a left field and a leadoff hit on 0-2, Al Raboski. A big knock for Oquendo.
Now that's what Jose is going up there and 2 for 4 today. And may not hit it far. Maybe they can play him a little bit shallow, but he gets a solid hit here. See where this ball's out away from him, a breaking ball. And really, an 0-2 pitch, you really don't want to throw a breaking ball up there. Not that you're not going to give up a hit on an occasion, but you'd rather see him bounce it.
Geronimo Pena pinch hitting, gonna bunt, strike 1. You don't see Pena bunt very often, and to go a step further, you don't see Pena bunt successfully very often, but we'll see if the Cardinals stay with it. I bet they might let him swing away.
Well, maybe by missing it, you get the rotation of your fielders. You get them thinking he's going to bunt.
Shows bunt again early.
Yeah, he really, I mean, there's a prime example where the pitcher, by either stepping off or throwing to first base, oftentimes the hitter will tip off what he's going to do, and Pena was way early in showing that he wanted to bunt.
Going to take a good bunt to get Oquendo down to second base. By the way, the numbers for Tewksbury: 7 innings, 5 runs on 9 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks, a hit batsman, and a home run.
Well, we can get him a victory
if the Cardinals can score here in the 8th. 2-1 on Pena.
Now the pitcher, Hampton, has to say, Cardinals are trying to give you an out. Take it. And if they're going to switch off, you might see it here.
John Hudek getting ready for the Astros in case Hampton gets into further trouble. 3-1, and Oquendo is caught off first. Oh my goodness, what's going on? First out of the inning, and there's a missed signal somewhere. That probably was the hit and run, and Pena missed it.
Well, you're never going to send Oquendo without protection. And see him looking in all the way. And now he knows, uh-oh. 2-1, perfect time for, and he gets a fastball.
Boy, does that hurt. Now the 3-1 to Pena. Full count.
Well, Chief, get on base, steal a couple.
It would appear that that was the hit and run, and he missed the sign.
Yeah, I have to believe, because, you know, I mean, you're not going to give Oquendo the steal, and you're not going to ever send him without protection.
Pena strikes out. Wow. From a leadoff hit, and Pena ahead on the count to 2 out and nobody on. Second strikeout for Hampton, and back to the top of the order. And you might not see Pena pinch hit for a while. Langford hit by a pitch. So the go-ahead run on base for Alicea, but 2 out in the inning.
Pitch up and in. Ray spins away and just nicks him around the shoulder.
Now it's Alicea's turn. 1 on, 2 out. Langford the runner at first, 2 out. Luis today is 2 for 3 plus a walk.
Langford might want to get himself in scoring position. Maybe Alicea will get a fastball.
He gets the hit to right. Langford will stop at second. It's 2 on, 2 out for Jeffries.
Boy, that's the big key right there, Joe. That's going Louis, because with 2 outs, he had to do something, and something positive to get Jeffries up there. Gets the fastball and just slices it. Inside out hitting, hits it into right field for his 3rd hit of the day.
Still, the Cardinals could put Tewksbury in line for a win if they can push one across, and they have the right man up there with 2 out and Greg Jeffries. Hitting .380, 2 out of 3 today. 2 on, 2 out. 8th inning, tie game. Zeal on deck. This would figure to be Hampton's last batter, with the right-hander Hudek getting ready in the bullpen, and the right-hander Zeal on deck.
That's why you want to do it here, and he isn't quite as aggressive now with runners on base as he was the inning before.
Jeffries is, however, goes fishing, comes up empty, 1-1.
Get your head in there.
Got a real good changeup, and he throws a slider, and you see Greg just pulling off the pitch. Fastball is about average, 85.
Jeffries trying to put the Cardinals back on top.
Or if he'll come back with a changeup again. And he keeps that ball down and away. It's Pretty effective.
2 on, 2 out. Into right center field, and the Cardinals will take the lead. Langford scores. Alicea to third. A terrible throw. And because of that, Jeffries into second. Greg Jeffries delivers, and the Cardinals lead it 6-5. A big 2-out rally. It started with a hit batsman, the hit by Alicea, and the RBI hit by Jeffries.
Well, it was a big RBI that Jeffries had in the first inning, but this one's bigger here to break the 5-5 tie. Pitch out away from him, plenty of the plate, and this time, instead of being too aggressive, he just makes solid contact. Here's that bad throw that you said. The converted second baseman just tries to air it out. That allows Jeffries to go to second. Now watch Langford. He's the runner out there at second base. He knows with 2 outs, all he has to do is just keep on running. And he breaks the 5-5 tie. 6-5 Cardinals lead. The pitching change. Third head of the inning for the Redbirds.
Local break coming up. The professional hitter Greg Jeffries does in the Astros, and Mike Hampton Hudek in. Zeal coming up. You see the man sitting down next to Tewksbury. Not Donahue, but Mr. Rodriguez. He'll take over and pitch the bottom of this 8th inning to Bream, Gonzalez, and Donalds. Here's Hudek in, and he's in a big spot. Zeal coming up, and Todd could make it a big inning and a comfortable lead.
That was his numbers on Friday night, where he struck out 4 of 6 batters. He's made 2 appearances in the big leagues, and both of them have been to the Cardinals. This guy can throw hard, but he's got a nasty, tight breaking slider.
Second and third, 2 out, and Zeal looks at that pitch, low and away, ball 1. Zeal was impressed with Hudek the other night.
Kind of hard not to be.
Yeah.
You know, my question was, where's this 27-year-old been? That was his major league debut, and he came from Detroit. How did they let him get away?
A 1-0 to Zeal. Good fastball, strike 1. Eusebio set up outside, and the pitch came back inside for a strike.
A year ago, Hudek started in the Detroit's minor league system, was traded to, came over to Houston, went to AAA. He's pitching at the big leagues for the first time.
2-1 on Zeal, who will make Hudek throw strikes. If Todd can keep it going, Bernard Gilkey is next. Defensively, they play him to pull just a bit in the outfield, but more or less straight away all the way around. The Cardinals leading 6-5, 8th inning. Second and third, 2 out, and a 2-1 count on Zeal. Popped it up behind first. Biggio back to find it, and he picks it up in this high dome and makes the grab for the out. Big 2-out rally capped on a hit by Jeffries. Bottom of the 8th inning rolls around. 6-5 St. Louis. Well, the Cardinals have the 1-run lead into the bottom of the 8th inning. Let's take a look back at a great moment in Cardinal history, brought to you by Budweiser. The 1985 National League Championship Series, the Cardinals battled back from a 2-1 deficit to win the next 4 in a row. With the final and most dramatic blow coming right here. I don't even have to talk. Niedenfuer facing Clark. We all know that Van Slyke was on deck, but they pitched to Jack. Goodbye. And the Cardinals head to the World Series on that one swing by Jack Clark as Guerrero slams his glove down and left. And the Cardinals win it and go on to the World Series back in 1985. That's a great moment in Cardinal history, and it certainly was a great moment. Brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that fresh, distinctive taste. Crisp, clean, classic Bud. Rich Rodriguez trying to be crisp and clean here in the 8th inning. A big frame. Jeff Bagwell will start it off. Bagwell pinch hitting for Bream. The Cardinals up by 1. Good pitch down and in. Bagwell, we talked about it earlier, Al, had 26 RBIs for the month of April, 3 off the club record.
He got an RBI and ended the game on Friday night on a slider. What was a strike from Rodriguez. This time he gets the first slider over for a strike.
1-1 from Rich with Gonzalez, and then Donalds, the scheduled hitters to follow.
Is just an outstanding player. You really like the way he comes and prepares himself to play the game.
Upstairs, got it by him. Strike 2. Where would you pitch Bagwell?
Well, I would try and, I mean, I don't have the breaking ball, or did not have the one, but this is what I would try and do, is throw him up like that because of that uppercut swing. And I think you can come up and into him, and then you can get him out, down, and away also. Let's see where they try. They're trying to pitch him up. Yeah.
Stays alive in the count 1-2. The previous pitch was 90 miles an hour on the gun that they have here at the Astrodome, which might be a little fast, but still Rodriguez getting it up there pretty good.
I would have to say that that's probably a slower gun, because Rodriguez can consistently pitch in 90.
1-2 delivery. Popped up, foul. Jeffries will give it a look, and it's out of play.
Rodriguez pitched pretty well on Friday night.
He really did.
Loser, but I mean, he threw the ball well. Habian threw the ball very well, and Arocha did also. Shook off the slider. He wants the fastball away.
1-2 pitch to Bagwell. 2-2. Tense moment in this one. Bagwell and Gonzalez coming up. Gonzalez tied the game on a home run his last time up. So some thumpers coming against Rich Rodriguez. Cardinals lead by 1.
Terry wants that slider.
Got it. A foul tip hung on to by McGriff. 1 away. And there's a big out. So Bagwell, who won the game against Rodriguez 2 nights ago, this time Rich gets the better of Jeff Bagwell.
Well, he's got a good slider, and it keeps it down here in this vicinity. Your hanging sliders can be very difficult for the pitcher, but right down there, and the aggressiveness of Bagwell in the strike zone keeps it down. You're not going to get hurt much with that.
We have a very distinguished guest in the booth as Gonzalez gets a hit to center, and Luis has been a lot of trouble. Gonzalez 3 for his last 3 out of 4 today, and the tying run is aboard. I think, Al, we should have cleaned up the booth or something. Former President George Bush is with us. It's a distinct honor. Welcome.
Glad to be here. You got to notice the hat. It's changed. It was an Astros hat down there. Now it's a Card hat.
Well, we didn't even show. We never showed you a shot with that Astros hat on. We want you to have the winning hat.
Hey, listen, I got to get along in my hometown, but my brother's from St. Louis, so now I'm proudly wearing this one.
That's right. We see Bucky Bush at the ballpark quite a bit. A good friend and a big Cardinal fan.
And Joe's a friend, your manager here, good man, and of course Stan Musial, an old friend of the Bushes. So we go back a long way with this ball club of yours.
Well, the tying run is aboard here. This ends up being a very good game here today. You saw a good one, huh?
It's a wonderful game. I noticed that our Texas Rangers finally squeaked one out there over Cleveland in the last inning. So I've been rooting for them.
And understand you have a doubleheader to go to today.
Yes, Pierce Bush. This guy here, he's a great hitter, one of the great hitters. Pierce, get in here.
Come on down here.
Go ahead.
He's the Hawks, but you guys can't get in. It's a sellout.
Now look at he's really a true Cardinal. He just turned his Astros hat around.
That's right.
That's right. Pierce throws the fastball. Whoops, there we go.
A check on the runner Gonzalez, who's the tying run on here in the 8th inning. Here's Pierce right down here. How you doing? Big day for you sports-wise. You got some basketball later?
No, he's got a baseball game.
Oh, a baseball game himself.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any better than that. So he's getting the tips out here with the big boys, right?
Now this is just like playing baseball at Yale Stadium.
Yeah,
right?
very much, except it was outdoors. Good grass at the old Yale Stadium, and a lot of good college pitching back then.
But was the ball juiced back then, or is that just this year?
That's topping.
1-1 the count on Caminetti pinch hitting. Rodriguez with the runner going. The fly ball to center for Langford, and Gonzalez will have to return. Well, we know you can't stay long.
No, we got to run. Listen, thank you, guys. Good to see you. Good luck to the Cards.
Distinct pleasure.
Pleasure to be with you.
A big pleasure. And I know we can't get political on a baseball game, but I miss you.
Thank you. Well, I miss some of what I used to do.
Yeah, I bet you do.
But I like being able to go a ball game and sit with the people. It's a lot of fun.
Well, it's great having you here, and good luck to you, young man, a little later. Former President George Bush, thank you, sir. 1 on, 2 out, and Joe Torre is going to head to the mound as Rich Rodriguez does his job. He does give up the hit We've got a Habian coming in, Cedeno coming up. A local break coming your way, and the Cardinals lead 6-5 in the bottom of the 8th inning, and my nerves can now settle back down. Rodriguez finished after 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Runner going. McGriff, can he get him? Good throw. Safe at second. The tying run is in scoring position. Boy, that changes this entire inning, and the approach by Cedeno as McGriff made yet another good throw, but stolen base number 6 for Gonzalez.
It's that slider is down. Pretty good throw by McGriff, and the lead leg is right there ahead of the tag. Now you're seeing more and more clubs running on 0-2 when they think a hitter's going to waste a pitch, or in this case where you're guessing that you're also going to get a breaking ball.
Came back with a heater, and it just missed up and in.
Came back with that heater, and it came back over the plate a little bit too.
2-2 now on Cedeno. The Cardinals got a 2-out hit to take the lead in the top of this 8th. Can the Astros get the 2-out hit from Cedeno? Oh, full count, pretty good pitch, and Habian talking to himself, and he thought he had a good pitch on 2-2, and now the count's full. 6-5 Cardinals. Bottom of the 8th inning, runner at second, 2 out. 3-2 pitch. Foul. Three and 2 the count on Cedeno. Tying run at second, 8th inning.
There's the mistake.
And Habian got away with it.
And you can see just by that little grimace that he knew he got away with it. But that's okay. Now, you see what I'm talking about? Ball right there, kind of backing up. He's right on it, fouls it right back. But yet, he couldn't do anything with it. So, I kind of like it right now. I want to see that slider down and away, and he'll punch him out.
3-2 pitch. Got him. There you go, Mr. Roboski. The Cardinals get the 2-out hit from Jeffries. The Astros do not from Cedeno. Good relief pitching in the 8th from Rodriguez and Habian. And after 8, 6-5 St. Louis. We move to the 9th inning. Good work by the bullpen in the 8th. First by Rodriguez, then by Habian. The Cardinals lead by 1. And here is how he took care of Cedeno for the final out.
Here he tries to throw a curveball and overthrows it, and it's a hanger. Right there, Cedeno had the pitch he could hurt him. He didn't get it, and now with a 3-2 pitch, he throws him a nasty slider down and away, and because of that aggressiveness, he went after the pitch. Bill Coleman out there to talk to Habian, but he did the job.
Gilkey will lead off, 9th inning, Cardinals by 1. Hudek back to work. In the 9th for Houston, it'll be Eusebio, then a pinch hitter for Hudek, then Mouton. Against, it looks like Al Roboski, Willie Smith. 1-1 on Gilkey. The big right-hander cranking it up for the bullpen.
It's going to be interesting as you see Hudek there, who just was promoted to the big leagues for the first time, and Willie Smith on our side being promoted. Got roughed up last night, but it wasn't in a in a crucial situation or a safe situation, which he might appear to come into this game. Or with tomorrow the off day, and if you get into a situation you need a strikeout. I'm not too sure whether they're going to go with Smith or they're going to go with Habian. Let him go back out there.
Gilkey ahead in the count here, 3-1. Gilkey, then Mabry, then McGriff.
Looking at Hudek's numbers, and they really just don't add up.
Into left field, Gonzalez will play it for a hit. A leadoff man aboard, and Gilkey connects for just his 3rd hit against the Astros this season, but that might turn out to be a big one. For an adventure into St. Louis history and a unique wildlife experience, schedule a trip to Grant's Farm. Free public visits are conducted through the courtesy of Anheuser-Busch Companies Incorporated. You can ride the trackless train, which takes visitors through 160 acres of game preserve. A great day at Grant's Farm. Check it out when you're in St. Louis. Here's Mabry, leadoff man aboard. What do you do here, Al? Do you bunt or do you let him swing away?
I'm going to let him swing away. Got hitting sign on the right side. He's pull hitter.
Good pitch inside, strike one. Not only with that situation, but because Mabry, a legitimate power threat. And after Mabry, even if you bunt the runner down, you've got McGriff, then Oquendo, and then a pinch hitter. So might as well let Mabry swing away.
I agree, Joe.
Hitting .357. He's had a big day. 3 out of 4. 0-2.
You know, Hudek, he was drafted by, his pitcher was drafted by Texas in the 30th round in '85, didn't sign, then selected by the White Sox in the 10th round of the June '88 draft, selected by Detroit in 1992 as a Rule 5 Major League draft, and then claimed off waivers by Houston July 29th, 1993.
The fact that Detroit could let him get away with their pitching problems and how they're always searching for any arm they can find is unbelievable. 0-2 on Mabry. Gilkey at first and nobody out.
In '92, when he was with the White Sox, started at Birmingham. He was 0-1, 2.31 ERA with 5 appearances. Then went to Vancouver, 8-1 in 39 relief appearances with a 3.16.
Runner going. Mabry pops it foul back here.
So I'm assuming, as you see, Gilkey retraces steps, that Detroit drafted him Rule 5 and made a deal with the White Sox that so they could send him to the AAA instead, because normally you draft a Rule 5 guy, they have to stay in the big leagues, and if they don't, then you offer him back to the White Sox for half the $50,000 price. And somehow he stayed in the Detroit minor league system, then they released him.
Count stays 0-2 on Mabry. By the way, we talked about it earlier. Florida wins at home over Cincinnati 9-4. And Colorado wins at Chicago 6-2. And the home problems continue for the Cubs. Still winless for the year.
And they're probably looking for a site to where they could have a post-game press conference with the fans somewhere around Wrigley Field.
0-2 on Mabry. Battling Hudek. Gilkey at first and nobody out.
Been a good battle for the youngster. This is a game you have to win.
Pitch out on 1-2, and it goes to 2-2. The Cardinals let one slip away here 2 nights ago. They don't want to let one slip by the boards here today. They led at one point 5-1, then 5-2, tied at 5. But a 2-out rally in the 8th inning has made it 6-5, and now they have a chance to add to it. Mabry stays alive. This place is dead quiet. Quite a difference from last night where they had almost 50,000 here. Quite a difference. They announced the crowd today at better than 20,000, but that's tickets sold. 2-2 to Mabry instead of check on Gilkey. Bernard this season has stolen 5 bases, been caught once. Hudek ready. Gilkey running. Good pitch for Eusebio. Can't make the throw. He had a pitch to handle, but threw it low, and Gilkey steals number 6.
And I'll tell you what, Gilkey, he did not have a good jump at all. So you see that pitch up and away. He has a chance to throw. He short hops the shortstop And it's a good thing Biggio was there backing up. How rare do you see that the second baseman backs up the shortstop and keeps that ball from going into center field? Gilkey probably would have been standing on third.
Now a 3-2 to Mabry. Big strikeout for Hudek as Mabry can't get Gilkey to third. We'll pause 15 seconds for station ID on the Cardinals television network.
WRSP TV, WCCU TV, Springfield, Urbana.
The catcher, number 7, Jerry Madrid.
6-5 Cardinals. Runner on second, one out for McGriff. Into right field. Mouton there. 2 out. That ball was hit well, but right at Mouton. 2 gone. That'll bring up Oquendo. Jose 2 out of 4 today, and it's Oquendo that stands between Hudek and 1 1/3 scoreless innings for this right-handed pitcher.
Oquendo 2 hits on the day. Currently hitting .353.
2 out. Gilkey at second. Wouldn't it be nice to get Oquendo on somehow, some way, and bring up Gerald Perry, who waits on deck. Very shallow in the outfield for Oquendo, to the point where a hit into the outfield might not score the run. 2-0. And all Joe Torre can ask for here, Al, is to get Perry up. He's on deck and would bat if Oquendo can reach.
And that's a good thing about Oquendo, too, because he realizes that that would be a very good accomplishment for him to reach base no matter what, and with the pitcher behind 2-0, take a strike.
3-0.
He stands out over the plates, and
Mitch Williams sprints down to the bullpen to get ready. 3-0 pitch right down the chute. And Oquendo probably will take here on 3-1.
And you know what? If he does, he's taking it on his own. He's that kind of guy that he knows he has the confidence hitting with 2 strikes, but that's his role. Unless he gets something where he really wants it.
A low strike and a full count. Top of the 9th inning, 6-5 Cardinals, 1 on, 2 out.
Come on, Jose.
3-2 from Hudek. He walked him. That'll bring in Perry, and a very good at bat by Jose Oquendo.
Yeah, you just see him do that time after time. You know, Mel Stottlemyre will come out here, stall, and give Terry Collins the decision. He allow Mitch Williams to come in and face Gerald Perry. He hasn't had much time to warm up, but that's part of the psychology of a relief pitcher. You have to almost sit down there and assume or say to yourself that you can walk right from the bullpen to the mound, and your 8 warm-up pitches are sufficient to be ready.
It looks like Perry will face Hudek, and then if Gerald can keep it going, it'd be Williams against Langford. But Joe Torre has what he wants, Perry against the right-hander.
Yeah, he always wants Gerald to have an opportunity to hit against a right-hander, and of course Collins a little bit handicapped. He wouldn't bring in, he would never bring in Mitch Williams behind in the count.
Two on, 2 out for Perry. Can he do it again? Gerald pinch hit in last night's game and was unsuccessful.
Now Gerald, you know, he's 3 for 7 with 3 RBIs pinch hitting. He has 50 Cardinal pinch hits, 3 behind Red Shandy's on the Cardinal all-time list. He might have trouble with this fastball. Nope.
Into left field. Gonzalez puts it away, and the Cardinals lead by 1 into the bottom of the 9th inning. It'll be Eusebio, then a pinch hitter, then Mouton against big Willie Smith. Cards lead by 1. 3 outs away from avoiding a sweep, picking up a game on Cincinnati and beating Houston for the third time this season as Willie Smith takes over. He'll try to close it down and save it for Tewksbury, who could go to 6-0.
Gave up a 3-run home run last night to Bagwell. There's his numbers at Louisville in 7 games. He had 7 saves. That was tops in the American Association. And Joe Torre told the big man from Savannah, Georgia, when he came here, "You're going to be my closer." This has been his first opportunity to do it. And Joe Coleman, he wears these games. These games wear on him, don't they?
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Now he's telling Galen Pitts, now this is what happens. If, when, what?
Tony Eusebio will lead off. We talked at the beginning about Tewksbury being the stopper and trying to put it all back together. He wasn't stellar, but here the Cardinals are in the 9th inning with a chance to win. Eusebio, then a pinch hitter, and then Mouton.
Fastball inside.
Good pitch, strike one. If he can hit that spot all night, we'll be all right. This place again, dead quiet. Strike 2. Eusebio today 0 for 3, including a strikeout. That was against Tewksbury. Now he's facing a much different pitcher in Willie Smith. Quite a change from Tewksbury to Willie Smith.
The point I was going to make, Willie's got a good fastball to begin with, 93, 92 the first 2 pitches. But when you follow Tewksbury's pitching, it just looks like it's jumped up about 4 or 5 more miles an hour. Now you see the first 2, third one, 93.
Say this for Willie Smith. He does not come to the big leagues wide-eyed. No, he's confident. At least he puts on that appearance. 0-2 pitch to Eusebio. Got him on the outside corner. 1 out.
To the slider. He's a 2-pitch pitcher. He's got the fastball and he's got the slider. And it's good enough right here. Look at how he fools. And that's what a good power fastball can do. And if you spot the ball well away, and look how McGriff really frames it, it's out of the strike zone. That's a good pitch.
That's a perfect pitch. That's nice. Now Stankiewicz, 1 out, nobody on. Andy pinch hitting 389 overall, and he's hit the Cardinals very well this season. His first in the National League. 1-1 as Smith gets the corner on that pitch.
Sometimes when you're a hard thrower, it's the little guys like Stankiewicz that can really give you a hard time.
Two and one on deck. Mouton, then Finley.
Well, that's big man. This is from little man to big man. There's big. In case anyone's wondering.
2-1 to Stankiewicz. Tough time catching up. 2-2.
Six to 5-6 to 4-6.
Very nice. 2-2 on Stankiewicz.
Fastball away.
Bottom of the 9th inning. Cardinals lead by 1. Stankiewicz is a little battler.
Yeah, that's what I say. Honestly, you oftentimes will ask a power pitcher, well, who gives you trouble? And you think it'd be another power hitter or something. Most times, the little pesky type guy that'll spray the ball around.
One of the toughest for Lee Smith was a guy who played here for Houston, who Stankiewicz replaces, Casey Candell. 2-2 pitch. Into right. Mabry there. 2 out. Bases empty. 2 out, and James Mouton coming up.
Now you have to be glad that that was a little man that hit that ball. But Joe Torre showing a lot of confidence in Willie Smith right now. And he needs that 27th out.
Mouton up now, the right-handed hitter. the lefty Finley waiting on deck. And because of that, the Cardinals have Murphy warming up in their bullpen. 2 out, nobody on. Mouton, the last chance for the Astros.
This guy tries to swing like a big man. He is really aggressive, has a big swing. There's a good example of somebody trying to overthrow a breaking pitch, getting underneath it and almost throwing it uphill.
Deep and straight away. One and one.
You give up a base hit in front of the outfielders, but no ball should get over their head.
1 and 1 on Mouton. 2 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 9th inning, the Cardinals out in front of Houston 6-5. Off day tomorrow, 2 in Colorado. One and 2, and the Cardinals 1 strike away. And did he hit a spot there?
That's unhittable. The only way you can hit that pitch is if you're looking for a pitch down the way, go out across the plate and only try to hit it to right field.
The Cardinals 1 strike away from victory. Tewksbury 1 strike away from moving to 6-0 if Willie Smith can save it for him.
So a victory here, we're back to a game and a half out of first place.
Cincinnati lost today. The Cubs lost today. Cardinals battling Houston. Pittsburgh, however, they win at home over Atlanta again, 4-1. Willie Smith trying to save it for Bob Tewksbury.
Pittsburgh would jump ahead of Houston in the standings.
Mouton.
Slider away.
1-2 pitch. Wouldn't chase. 2-2. Be interesting, Al, to see what would happen if Mouton got on. Finley, the left-handed batter, came up.
Yeah, it would.
If we go to the bullpen or not.
I don't want to have that much dramatics to this.
I agree.
I think it'd be interesting to see if McGriff and Willie Smith want to come back with another slider. Go with a fastball.
2-2 pitch. 2 out, nobody on. Full count.
Overthrowing. Try and throw it too hard and try and overthrow it. The ball straightens out. Doesn't have the life or movement to it and is not as hard. Hey, just relax. Let it fly. Let that good ability take over. I don't have to throw a fastball. Just keep it down. They throw a strike.
Tying run on base.
There, he really aimed that one.
And that's going to be all for Willie Smith. A chance to pick up his first big league save. And that chance will not come today, I don't believe, as Joe Torre makes his way out of the dugout. And he makes the call to the bullpen. A 2-out walk. And a local break coming your way. Willie got the first 2, but on 3 and 2, he issues the 2-out walk to James Mouton. He exits. Murphy enters. Finley coming up. Cardinals leading 6-5, and here's Willie's reaction on that pitch. Ball 4. Stay with us. Out. Tying run aboard on first, and here's Murphy to try to get Steve Finley.
In the break, you just made a very, very big and astute comment, Joe, that the inning of work in the blowout last night was really what Murphy needed to prepare him to throw strikes and make quality pitches here this afternoon.
Rob Murphy against Houston in his career, 4-0. Most of that done before he pitched for the Astros. Most of that was Cincinnati. Yet he has always fared well against Houston, and the Cardinals asking for 1 out.
And how about a big first career save against the Houston?
Runner is Mouton. The batter is Finley. 6-5 Cardinals. Bottom of the 9th inning. 2 out. and a hot hitter at the plate, to say the least. Here's a tough out, Steve Finley.
Well, you know what makes Finley so tough is that he goes to all fields, and this year showing surprising power. He's hit 7 home runs already. His career high, he's done it twice, is 8.
One and one, and Murphy pumps a strike in there.
Pretty good velocity on that last fastball from Murphy.
Cardinals leading 6-5, trying to sneak out of Houston with a win.
I mentioned Murphy really needed that inning of work last night because of the 2 rainouts and a complete game by Tewksbury. He was rusty. Foul ball.
That's a foul ball, and the count 1-2.
No better feeling to make a pitch gets away from you and get the positive thing of a foul ball.
Get that important second strike.
And it just shows you how these hitters are so aggressive. They go in there, commit themselves, diving in, and then they realize that, hey, that ball's coming in on them. And in this case, Murphy gets the strike. Now look at that little command by McGriff saying throw over there, because they have shown a tendency to try and steal 0-2. I mean, in a case like this where you're 1 strike away, where you're way ahead and you might waste. Back over to first again. No lead at all.
Finley at the plate with a 1-2 count, and again, the Cardinals 1 strike away from a win here in Houston. And a strike away from their 13th win of the year, and a chance to pick up a game today on Cincinnati.
You spot the fastball away, had that, or the option of a good slider away.
Got him, and the Cardinals win. Save from Murphy. 6-5 St. Louis. And Al Raboski, the bullpen today was terrific, from Rodriguez to Habian to Willie Smith to Rob Murphy.
Most left-handers are low ball hitters, but keeping the ball away from him, it comes back up, but it's up, and with good mustard on it, he couldn't catch up to it. So it wasn't exactly where he wanted it, but the fact that it was high octane and up in the zone, Murphy gets that punch out, and he saves this one. Cardinals going game and a half out.
What a day. I got up on time. The Cardinals win. I get a chance to interview George Bush, and I spend the afternoon with Al Raboski. It gets no better. The Cardinals win 6-5 on KPLR and the Cardinal Television Network on Tuesday, May 3rd. Coming up against the Rockies. The telecast begins at 8 o'clock Central Daylight Time. Please check your local listings for the next Cardinal telecast in your area, and please join us. What a day in Houston. The Cardinals avoid the sweep. Bob Tewksbury, the first 6-game winner in the big leagues. And the Cardinals defeat Houston 6-5. And lest I forget, my chance to interview George Bush. Good night from Houston, everybody.